In my previous video, I talked about Charleston White and some of the crap he was talking. And some people just didn't get it. I'm about accountability, so I'm about to break it down. What's up, everybody? This your boy, Casey Cox, and me back in the rebuild. What's up? Listen, a couple of days ago, man, I made a video. And I was, chopping it up, the situation with Charleston White and MathHoffa. And yeah, I called Charleston out on some things. I expressed some thoughts and some feelings on some things. And, the response to my video personally that I've seen and the response to the whole situation that he was talking and the things he was saying about children, which is funny because shortly after that, a new video arose of him speaking out against Asian people, and he said some really disgusting, inappropriate, things about Asian women and children. Again, I'm not going to repeat it here because that's not rocking on my channel, but it is what it is. And as I said, the response that I've seen to these comments that he's been making has been interesting, very interesting. People have come on my video asking me like, if Charleston's such a bad guy, why make a video about him and stuff, and because implying I'm after views and subscribers and all that, like I'm trying to piggyback and profit off of that or something like that, which is totally ridiculous. I'm not no huge platform. I'm nowhere near profit in any way off of talking about that man. You know what I mean? In other videos I've seen people, other spaces I've seen people basically defending this, like, saying things like, oh, you can't take that literally, it's just a character. And people saying, you can say what you want in a free world, or, it doesn't matter what he said, but did he do it? And it's interesting because people just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And in no way, shape, form, or fashion is it okay for a grown ass man to be sitting up talking about doing sexual things to young girls and babies. Aside from talking about raping women. But then he goes into saying things about doing sexual things to young girls and babies. There's no situation in which that's right or okay. And it's just about the accountability. But it seems like there's not much of it these days. I guess especially when it comes to these YouTube personalities that these people seem to champion because they find them funny or entertaining or whatever have you. But I'm going to try to break it down a little bit about where I'm coming from with it. We got to understand something. Words are powerful. They say the power of life and death is in the tongue, right? So we should understand what that means. You can speak things into existence. You can inspire. You can empower. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter what it is, I say this about these talking personalities that have these platforms, from the alpha male sphere, who talk about women and how women should be treated and women's nature and all this other type of stuff, all across the board, all the way to somebody like a Charleston White. You have to be careful with what comes out of your mouth when you have this platform that reaches a bunch of people are listening to you. I get it. Folks are out trying to make $1. People are trying to make some money out here. I get it. But you still have to be mindful. You still have to be careful. It's not about, it's just words. He just saying. He didn't do anything. He's just talking. It doesn't matter. As I said, words are powerful. Words inspire. Just like with the music, for a long time, people have talked about how, hip hop and rap and all these, and music in general, you have to be mindful with that. But what as artists have said, I'm just a rapper, I'm just a whatever, I don't tell nobody what to do. I'm not out here telling these kids to do whatever. And the key is you don't have to directly be like, hey, go out and do this, go out and sell those drugs, go out and do. You don't have to be direct to anyone in particular with your music. The thing is, when you make this music, right, and you're talking about how I am so cool, I'm the man, I'm that nigga because I sell drugs, because I bust my gun in the street, I will shoot anybody for the slightest offense. If a nigga look at me wrong, I'm letting my hammer fly. You understand? I'm the man because I'm out here hitting up all these chicks. I'm even hitting your chick. You ain't nothing if you ain't got more than one chick. If you only got one female at home, use a sucker, use it, this, that, and the third. This is what you're saying in your music. You got to understand that there are going to be impressionable people out there. I'm not even going to say young people because there are grown ass people who still get out there and follow suit out there. They don't got their mind right up here, so they out there just flapping in the wind following suit. So you get impressionable people who will hear this content, who will hear that and feel like, hey, I want to be the man. I want to be that dude. I want to be that nigga. And my favorite rapper says, to be that nigga, I got to be doing this, to do that, to do this. And they will go out and they will do things inspired by what you're talking about out there. I've said this many, many times. You know, I am not, I don't, you know, I don't agree with a lot of the street element out there. You know, I don't condone none of that. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna be a rapper and if you're gonna, you know, talk about that stuff, which may lead to someone going down that road because they're inspired by what you're saying, I would rather the person talking it actually be that, because you have a lot of folks, which is something I'm gonna get back to going forward, whatever. There's a lot of folks who are not what they're representing in their music, in their art, in their content on whatever level. They're not that, but they're talking it. And this is the problem. That's the worst of the worst, when you can inadvertently lead a young person or any person down a certain road based on words that you're saying that you don't actually live, you don't actually subscribe to. That's the worst of the worst, but it happens every day. Because of this, like I said, the words, they're powerful. You understand what I'm saying? So again, that's with the music. So again, you could bring that across the board. Now you get on here, you got your YouTube sphere, your YouTube universe, social media. Anybody can set up a camera. Everybody can have a platform now. Everybody has a voice that can reach out into the world. Again, you have to be mindful, of what you're saying and what you're putting out there. Because the things you talk about can inadvertently inspire and or empower someone to go out and follow suit. I hope people are getting this understanding who wanted to come to me and say, oh, you know, it's just words, you know, you tripping, it's just a character or whatever have you. I'm gonna get back to that character thing too. But you know, you gotta understand, this is deeper than that. It's deeper than, well, did he do it? But did he do it? It's deeper than what he did or did not do. Because what he says or what someone says can have a huge impact as well. Because again, you can inspire, you can empower someone to go do things. We've heard, I'm sure you've had to hear in the news here or there, stories of people that went out and did things because of what they heard. They was listening to somebody's talk and got inspired to go out and do. So we have Mr. White sitting up here saying how much he hates Asian people, how much he hates these people, how much he hates that people. And he's saying things like women. I remember when he first was kind of blowing up, right? Video came out of him talking about he believes women deserve to be raped from time to time, things like that. And of course he was able to play it off, oh no, I was just a character. I could be a pimp, this, that, I could be that, whatever. And it kind of went under the rug because here we are today. This is repeated stuff. I don't know how much, you know, it's a character, but this is repeated. This is repeated. as I said, I'm gonna get back to that character thing in a second. I'm trying not to get swept up in it. I'm trying to stay on point. But so here we are today. He's still talking the same stuff, and he's talking it now about children, saying this group of children deserves to be raped and sodomized babies, which means boys and girls. They would need to be. They should be raped and sodomized. We can't take that stuff like that lightly. We can't play around with that. Because you have people out there, for real, that may feel like that. They have this hate in their heart for Asian people for whatever reason, or any people. They have hate. And then you have someone like a Mr. White that comes out here with his voice, with his platform, and pours some more fuel onto that. And says these things, which could in fact, again, inspire or empower someone to actually go out and do something like that. Let's think about this for a second. Let's go back to Trump. When Trump got elected, he went on his campaign and his rhetoric, blowing his dog whistle to a group to a group of people, right? Conservative, white, racist. He rode that wave into the White House, right? Do we remember the effect that he had on the country? His talking that empowered that whole group of people to come up out and start doing things overtly, like racism and all that. We all know still exists, very much alive, but it's been very overt. But when Trump came around and he got into office, he empowered folks by his words, talking, the things he was saying, to come up and become more and more overt. He empowered these folks to come out to start feeling themselves. They can start talking to people in the old type of way, to just be showing their ass. Do we forget this effect that he had? That his words, and not nothing he did. Because what did Trump do? Nothing. He didn't get out there and do anything. But he ran this. He spoke a lot of crap out of this, which empowered folks to get out there and feel like, I got a champion. That's the thing. They felt like, now I have a champion now. Someone that champions my feelings. Someone that speaks what I think, but won't say out loud. Here's a man who proudly does it with no filter. Let's remember that, with no filter. Right? He speaks what we think. He's holding it down with no filter. That inspired these people to rise up, because we have our spokesman, we have our champion. We see that he's talking this stuff with no accountability. Nobody's doing nothing about it. He's able to get up here and he was able to talk like this and do these things and become president of the United States. Oh, it's lit. It's up for us. It's up. Let's not forget that. So let's bring it back now, again, to somebody like a Mr. White. And I've heard people say the very same things. I've seen people, write and say the same thing. Oh, look at this guy. He's out here. He's telling it like it is, with no filter. This very same things that people were acting behind Trump were saying about it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? It's that same, it could be that same type of effect. We have to be careful. We have to be mindful of the power of our tongues and what we say and what we do. That's what it's all about. We cannot sit by and let things like this be cool. Got to nip into the butt. I'm not saying this man can't make no money. I'm not hating on nobody. Get your bag. You blowing up on the YouTube world. That's great. That's awesome. You could be, anybody. I could be, your YouTube personality. You can go back and forth and have your YouTube, grudge matches with other personalities. That's fine. Do your thing. But there's got to be a line. There has to be lines that as people, that as men, We don't cross. As people with these platforms, we have to understand what we have. We can't take it lightly. We have a platform that reaches people, that reaches the world. We have to be mindful of that. Understand there's got to be some lines that we don't cross, that are not crossed. We don't go there. He's not a stupid man. I believe he's reasonably intelligent and articulate enough to be able to talk to someone, to address whatever issues, to even in whatever sense defend himself against somebody coming at him without all that extra. What I don't know. Again, we just got to be that line that we don't cross. I get it. Him and others want to be Mr. Hot Take. I come on here and I have the hot takes and I say the outrageous things that get people riled up because that's what brings me attention. I get it. But we got to be able to do that without crossing certain lines. And once that line is crossed, you got to have the accountability. You got to have some type of accountability. We can't be so thirsty for entertainment, the viewer, so thirsty for some type of entertainment and stuff like that, that we sit back and feel like, oh, that's cool because it's just entertainment. He didn't actually do. So we got to wait for something to happen. We got to wait for him to actually do it. If that's actually in his nature, I don't know. But let's just say, if you got to wait for it to actually happen, now we could be outraged and feel like, oh, now we got to do something about it because he actually did something like that. Or because someone went out and did something behind something he said. Feeling like, yeah, I'm empowered, so I'm going to go out and actually rape or sodomize me, Asian woman, or kidnap an Asian child and do that because, yeah, my champion has spoke up. That people may say, oh, you're doing too much. You're getting too deep. It ain't that serious. Well, why would you? Because that's the reality. I'm not getting too deep or anything. That's the reality. It happens every day. It happens every day. You may feel like, oh, why would you attach it? This is YouTube. Ain't nobody watching you. What you mean ain't nobody watching YouTube? What are you talking about? If nobody's watching YouTube, then why everybody on here with their platforms? Why everybody on here trying to get subscribers and views if nobody's watching? There's people out here that are getting millions of views on videos. What do you mean nobody's watching? As I said, this reaches the world. Let's not try to downplay it now because it's this type of situation that you may not agree with the backlash that someone is getting, that your favorite character on YouTube is getting. So now you want to try to downplay it and say, oh, but it's just YouTube. Nobody cares. What do you mean nobody cares? A lot of people care because everybody's on here trying to cash out on YouTube. Everybody knows people are watching because, again, there's some people that get literally millions of views on their videos that they put out and stuff. So people are watching. This does reach people. Let's not kid ourselves. So no, I don't feel like I'm overreacting. I don't feel like I'm going too far because it happens every day with other situations, and it could very well happen with this right here. I'm not overcompensating Charleston White or anybody like that. I'm just saying in general, because again, here's another thing. When other people, again, see him doing this and blowing up, getting views, he's getting booked everywhere. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get copycat people. You're going to get other people that say, oh, this is the formula. It's working for him. So let me come out and try to be Mr. Boom Bastard with my mouth and say all this foul and fucked up shit to get views and get likes. So now we have an escalation of people trying to follow his formula. And that's going to be okay? Because all of these people are just characters? And again, we know this happens. I see all the time. I see one person come out with this video, with this style on their channel, and then you see the next person following it, trying to do the same type of stuff. Like, for example, as I spoke of earlier, there's the alpha spare. You know, you have 1,000,001 people out here coming out trying to be these alpha gurus, trying to follow these other pages to get likes, talking the same stuff. Even in whatever, over here, you got all of these pages that's supposed to be hip hop pages. I cover hip hop and all this. Everybody's talking about Jay Prince. Everybody's following. So what I'm telling you is, this man's blowing up off a certain style. He's blowing up, doing what he's doing. which is cool. You're going to have people that try to come in and follow his style. I ain't saying all the way to the T, but they're going to feel like if it's okay for him to talk like that, and everybody is excusing it, everybody is still booking this man, everybody is still blowing this man up, they're bringing him on their thing and white glove handling this man and acting like, you know, nobody's asking the hard questions, nobody's really trying to hold him accountable and stuff. I can do it too, because this what works. And they're gonna come out and they're gonna come up with their things that they saying, which may be crazy and inappropriate and just off the chain. So where do we nip it in the butt? Where do we cross the line? Some things are just not okay. As I said, right is right and wrong is wrong. So from us out here as viewers, we can't be that thirsty that we're so readily ready to write something like that off, I guess, until something happens. And then I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a huge platform like that to be, you know, hosting anybody or doing anything. I don't have it. But you got people out there that got these platforms that they're getting booked everywhere all over the world. And my thing is like, bro, like, I don't know. I can't. Now, I get why they're doing it. Like I said, he's a walking lightning rod, you know, and people trying to make money. They're trying to get their views because they're more in that space where their channels are monetized and all that other type of stuff. And they can get, you know, money off of having them there and having to getting all the views up there, you know. So they bring them in just for that. And like I said, they bring them in, they cotton glove them, they softball question them in, asking them shit like, well, you know, what's his favorite Snicker, what's his favorite candy bar, dumb shit like that. But my thing is, I don't know. I wouldn't. I have to be like, nah, I can't give you the space until you get that together, bro. And then people might say, hey, who are you? Who am I? Again, so now if we're gonna downplay and say that nobody's channel matters, nobody is big enough to hold somebody accountable like that, then again, what's the point? Then what's the point? Well, what are we all just out here making channels for cash grab? We're not taking this serious, as this is serious platforms, or we're just out here for cash grabs. So it don't matter. So I can't hold, if I had a platform like that, I can't hold nobody accountable by saying, hey, you know, I'm not gonna, as much as you make whatever, I'm not giving you a platform because I don't agree with some stuff you said. Because my channel ain't nothing, or these people, who's anybody to do that? Then what's the point then? And that's a big problem right there. I'm gonna get into in a future video. I just wanted to address this a little bit. I just wanted to break down a little bit where I'm coming from, man. Words matter. Words holds weight, and we have to be careful of the words and stuff and the attitudes that we put out there, because we have to be mindful of what we may be encouraging, inspiring, and empowering. So that's it. I was a little long-winded, but I just needed to get that out there, man. So with that being said, man, you know, let's keep pushing forward. Let's keep staying strong, man. Let's keep using. So let's get some common sense up here, and let's get some accountability, man. All right, and most of all, let's get it.